Do you throw out the leaves of radishes? If so, it's time to stop because radish leaves are actually edible. And guess what? They actually taste delicious. They are perfect in salads, they're great baked and crispy, and you can even cook them just like spinach into a wilted green side dish. That's what I'm gonna share with you today, sauteed radish greens with a little bit of garlic and a little sprinkle of red pepper. Super tasty way to reduce food waste in your kitchen. Hi, my name is Christina. I'm a registered dietitian, environmental educator, and creator of Fork in the Road, a sustainable food blog that helps you go green in the kitchen. When you think about leafy greens, you think about the most common players out there. We have spinach and arugula and kale and even chard. But did you know a lot of the greens of root vegetables like radishes are actually edible? And too often what happens is we eat the root of the radish, but we throw away the top. And that's so sad because it is super flavorful, has a lot of nutrients, and it's delicious. You might not have ever heard of cooking with radish greens before, so you might have a couple of questions about the safety of eating them. So, is it safe to eat radish greens? Absolutely. They are an edible leafy green, just like any other leafy green that you would eat. A spinach, arugula, kale, chard. If you are someone who grows radish greens and you have never cooked with radish leaves before, this is the perfect recipe for you. Radish leaves are also a healthy leafy green, just like a spinach or a kale. They are high in vitamin K, they're high in vitamin C, and they're a really great addition to your healthy eating routine. Ready to learn how to saute the leaves of radishes? Let's do it. The first step to cooking with radishes is to prep the greens. Radishes are a root vegetable, which means they grow in the ground. So the leaves get pretty dirty. And so we really need to make sure that we give them a good wash before we cook with them. First, what you'll do is you will cut the radish bulbs or the root from the stem, and then you're going to cut the leaves from the harder stem underneath. So this stem is actually edible, but it doesn't cook down well when we're sauteing it, so we're not going to use it in this recipe, but you could use it in things like food scrap vegetable broth, which I can leave a link for up here somewhere, or you can just throw it into your compost bin as well. Once you have all your radish leaves removed from the stem, you'll want to give them a wash. And so there's a couple of ways that you can do this. You can either run them under the sink water, which is absolutely fine. What I like to do is I like to fill a mixing bowl with water and just add my radish leaves directly into the bowl. And then I give them a little slosh around with my fingers, kind of like this, a little slosh. And that helps those leaves to come in contact with the water and for some of the dirt that's on the leaves to release itself. And you'll notice that the water is kind of dirty afterward, which is shocking when you're like, oh man, I almost ate these without washing them. Once you're done washing the radish leaves, you're just gonna wanna put them in a salad spinner, or you can even just lay them flat to dry on a towel for a few minutes. Once the leaves are prepped, it's time to saute your radishes. And because the cooking time for radish leaves is super quick, like I'm talking under 5 minutes, we wanna make sure that we have all of our ingredients ready before cooking. So that means slicing 1 to 2 garlic cloves, depending on your garlic love level. Mine is very high, so 2 to 3 is what I would go for this recipe, as well as making sure that you have your crushed red pepper and your salt and pepper on hand so that you can add them and you're not burning your leaves when you're going to look for them in the middle of cooking. To get started cooking, simply add your saucepan to the stovetop over about medium-low heat. You don't want to go too high because you can burn the garlic and the red pepper super easily. Once your pan is heated, add about 2 tablespoons of olive oil to the pan. Once the oil is heated, you're going to want to add your sliced garlic to the pan and using a little wooden spoon or a spatula, move it around for about 1 minute until it starts to get brown and crispy. Once the garlic is starting to brown and you can smell those really delicious aromatic garlic smells, it's time to add your radish leaves. Take your reserved and dried radish leaves and add them directly to the pan, and immediately take your wooden spoon or your spatula and start moving them around so that the oil can coat it and they're gonna start to wilt really quickly. Continue to cook down the radish leaves for about 2 to 3 minutes. And once they're almost done, give them a sprinkle of crushed red pepper, salt, and ground black pepper. Sautéed radish leaves are best when they're eaten immediately after cooking. So after you take them off the heat, throw them onto your serving dish, add a fork, and enjoy. Radish greens are really great sautéed as a side dish. They're excellent added on top of pizzas. They're great as a topping for burgers or bowls. There's really endless possibilities. Anything that you would do with a wilted sautéed spinach, you can absolutely do with radish greens, and you're reducing food waste at the same time. If you are cooking with radishes and you cut off the radish greens and you're not ready to cook the greens right away, my best tip for you is, if you're going to cook them within a couple of days, is to add the stems to a little jar of water and then store that in the refrigerator for 3 or 4 days, maybe even 5 days. Just give them a look and change the water if you feel like it's getting kind of murky. You can also freeze radish greens if you like as well. What I would do is, after washing, I would roll them up in a kitchen towel and then add them to a freezer-friendly bag and keep them in the freezer for about a month, and then just thaw them right before cooking. The best time of year to cook with radish greens is actually when radishes are in season. And so here in Northern California, that's most of the year. I know we're lucky, but in a lot of places in the United States, that's usually in the spring and summer months. I really hope that you love this sautéed radish greens recipes. It's one of my favorite ways to reduce food waste in the kitchen. To get the full recipe, as well as step-by-step instructions and photos, head on over to forkintheroad.co, where you can print the recipe card and make it on your own. I would love for you also, if you make this recipe, to leave a comment below this video. Let me know how it went. And if you're interested in more food waste recovery recipes and ways to cook with food scraps, then also go over to forkintheroad.co and leave a comment and a star rating on the recipe card. I truly believe that sustainable living starts in the kitchen. So if you'd like more tips on food waste recovery recipes, ways to reduce waste in the kitchen, and ways to just start living a more sustainable lifestyle, then hit the subscribe button and come back for weekly videos all about how to go green in the kitchen.